everyone, it's Patricia here, chiropodist at Wilson Health Services and a registered nurse and a mom of 3 amazing kids. So today we're going to talk to you a little bit about custom foot orthotics. We're going to answer some regular questions that most people have with regards to foot orthotics. So we're going to talk about the importance of the foot, what are orthotics, what's the difference between an accommodative orthotics and a functional orthotics, how orthotics actually work, what they treat, how they are prescribed, and what's the difference between custom-made orthotics and the over-the-counter insoles that you get at Costco or Walmart or whatever place that you can think of. So really the most important part, well, for me, the chiropodist, the most important part of your body is your foot. But one of the most important things about your foot is that it actually takes us places. We really can't get anywhere without our feet. So when we talk about our feet does a lot of movements, but the most important part that we're going to talk about today is pronation, because that's really the movement when you walk that actually creates the most problems and one of the reasons why we need orthotics. Our foot, when it's pronating, it's almost like when your arches are dropping. So if I show you here on your foot, when our foot is pronating, your arch is dropping a little bit. It's supposed to drop a little bit in order to become a mobile adapter and kind of adapt to the ground. But problems really arise is when that arch drops significantly, so we're over pronating. So what do the orthotics actually do? So orthotics are made so they actually prevent that overpronation. So it prevents your foot from kind of dropping beyond the area that it's supposed to. They also help to restore the natural foot function of the foot. And it actually helps alleviate problems by creating alignment, not only in the foot, but sometimes because our feet are our foundation of our entire body, it actually helps with knee pain, hip pain, and lower back pain on occasion. Orthotics also help with weight distribution, so they take pressure off of sore spots like ulcers if you're a diabetic. Sometimes in the balls of our feet we have calluses or corns, or even a painful bunion. There's certain modifications that we can do to orthotics to actually take some of that discomfort away from your bunion. Another thing that the orthotic does is it actually takes away, most of the time, we have something called plantar fasciitis, and our plantar fascia is a big band on the bottom of our foot that's almost like my hand here. It starts at your heel bone and it ends at your toes. And that big band, sometimes when we're overpronating and our arch is dropping significantly, that band is stretching and it's creating pain right at your heel bone, which is called plantar fasciitis, or sometimes it creates pain at the ball of your foot, which is called metatarsalgia. Some of the other things that orthotics can actually help with and help take away is heel pain, shin splints, some tendinitises like Achilles tendinitises, and like I mentioned before, some of that bunion pain. So orthotics are actually, so if we want to know what our orthotics are, they're actually an insert like this that is made to the exact mold of your foot when it is actually in a neutral position. So what it's doing is it's actually preventing your arch from dropping, and it stays in your neutral position. So when we look at the back, your foot, your heel bone will be what a lot of chiropodists say is in a neutral position. So what type of orthotics are there? There's 2 types of orthotics. There's an accommodative orthotic and there's a functional orthotic. Accommodative orthotics are not like this one. They're actually a little bit like this. So they're made out of a different material, mostly different material. They're made out of something called EVA. So it's more of a squishier material, a lot more padding, and they're mostly made for diabetics to kind of to relieve pressure, prevent ulcerations, reduce some of the pressure in calluses or corns. These are a little bit bulkier and are harder to fit into a lot of shoes, but they are great for different types of problems with our feet. Then there is the functional orthotic, which is a lot like what I showed you earlier. It's something more like this. So these orthotics are made out of actual rigid plastic. They are harder to compress. The material actually on top is a lot like the accommodative orthotic, but they are more rigid. What this one does is it actually corrects more of your biomechanical problems. It can actually take away some of your big toe pain. This one as well is for tendinitises, bursitis, and can help with a lot of those other issues. So how do they work? And I mentioned this a few minutes ago. What they do is literally they just don't allow your arch to drop beyond the pronation that it's supposed to have. As well as there's other accommodations that you can make that can make the orthotic, if you're having issues, we can tilt it either way. We can prescribe it to supply specific forces to different part of your foot. We can tilt you in different ways. We can do many different things to an orthotic to make sure that your postural imbalances, any pathologies that you have will help improve them. So what do we do when you come into the clinic when we're trying to prescribe an orthotic? When you're trying to prescribe an orthotic, we will do a complete biomechanical examination. So of your toes, your foot, your ankles, your knees, and your hips. We will even take measurements with a goniometer. It's a little measuring tool that chiropodists and podiatrists have, so we can measure certain angles when your foot is in weight-bearing position or in non-weight-bearing position. We do determine like any structural or functional deformities, like if you have a limb length discrepancy or anything like that. We watch you walk or run, depending on how you're getting the pain. If you have pain while walking, then we'll definitely watch you walk. And if you're having pain while running, we will watch you run as well. We do a gait analysis. How do we actually fit for custom foot orthotics? So there's many ways to fit for custom foot orthotics, but here at the clinic, we actually use a 3D model. 3D model, we normally do it with 3D scanner. The 3D scanner is right here. It's like a big box, and it almost like it's taking a picture of your foot. There's other ways to do it as well. Some people do a plaster cast, which is a little messier, but still does the exact same thing. And some other people do a foam box, where you just, in a non-weight bearing position or semi-weight bearing position, we put your foot in a box. But here at Wilson Health Services, we just use a 3D scan. And so another question is, one of the questions that mostly I get is, what is the difference between orthotics, custom-made orthotics, and over-the-counter insoles? So I brought some over-the-counter insoles with me just to show you. So as you can see, orthotics, when we're prescribing them, we can actually modify them to do anything pretty much that we like to the foot. Over-the-counter insoles, the material that they're made more for cushioning, shock absorption, but they really don't address the biomechanical problem that is actually underlying and that's causing your shin splints, your back pain, your knee pain, or your foot pain in general. So they're just very, very temporary. As you can see with these guys, I can bend, twist, and the material is very compressible. So after about 3 or 4 weeks, if that, your orthotics will become completely flat, and your over-the-counter insoles will become completely flat and will not really be helping you at all. Where your custom-made orthotics are made out of rigid plastic, so you will not be able to actually really compress these at all, and that's how they will help you a lot more. Another question that people ask me is, how long must I wear my orthotics? So most people actually will have to wear orthotics indefinitely. Some people are lucky enough that once they are pain-free, they can stop wearing their orthotics and they'll go back to not having to wear them. But a lot of times, because we have an underlying biomechanical, structural, or functional problem, you will have to wear your orthotics indefinitely. And the last question that I get a lot is, how long do orthotics last? So orthotics, some of them, the plastic portion of the orthotic, so the hard part of the orthotic, can last indefinitely. Really, if you don't gain more than 40 pounds or lose more than 40 pounds, don't have major surgery to your foot, your knee, your hip, they should last for a long time. Your foot doesn't change that much, and they will provide you with the arch support that you need. However, orthotics should be checked every 6 to 12 months just to make sure that there isn't anything changed and there's no excessive wear or tear. And that's mostly for a functional orthotic. Accommodative orthotics typically do last a little bit less because the material in the accommodative orthotic is quite wearable. It does wear and it's very cushioned, so that one would last probably closer to 6 to 8 months. And that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to message us. And if you like, give us a call here at Wilson Health Services, 519-624-8000. It was great to speak to you guys. Have a wonderful day.